Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and I hope you guys are doing pretty good. Good to see your smiling face today. So today we are going to talk about resumes. We will try to understand on how to create a impactful ATS-friendly resume that is going to help you, especially if you're transitioning from manual to automation testing or if you're preparing for any SDET role. We will start off this particular video by going through some real world QA professional resume. We will try to understand the common mistakes people are making while creating one. And at the end of the video, I will also share a resume template that is consistently landing multiple job calls. You can download that particular resume template from the description section of this particular video. But first, if we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Jatin and I'm a principal QA with 10 plus years of experience in automation testing. I help QA professionals prepare for automation testing roles while saving tons and tons of time. Now, let's dive into the topic. So let's try to understand why most of the QA resume fails. Most of us, whenever we are trying to create a resume, what we are going to do? We are going to download a template from the internet or LinkedIn. We are going to customize it based on the job description. Some of us are going to use ChatGPT and Claude and we're going to create a custom resume template. Yet, we don't get any job calls. A recruiter typically spends 7 to 10 seconds on a resume. They're going to check whether your resume depicts that you have the right skill, knowledge, and experience to work on an automation project. Additionally, there is going to be this ATS software which is going to check for the relevant keywords and it's also going to check the formatting of your resume. So if your resume is not passing the check of ATS as well as recruiter, you're not going to get any job called. Today's market situation is pretty bad. For one position of automation testing, there will be 1,000 candidates applying for that role. Everyone will say that they know Selenium, WebDriver, Java, rest assured, they know how to create automation framework from scratch. So how the recruiter, how the system is going to differentiate who is the ideal candidate and who is not an ideal candidate. So you cannot use an existing template which is already available over the internet or a template which has helped someone to get the job. You have to create your own custom resume. Now, some of you guys DM me saying that Jatin, despite applying in multiple companies, they are still not able to get any job calls. Some even said that they applied in the XYZ company and 2 minutes later, their resume was rejected. So the thing over here, guys, is when I went through all these resumes, okay, I noticed that there were some red flags, some common mistakes folks make while creating their resume. So let's try to understand these red flags. Let's try to fix them by going through some real resume. So this is the first resume someone had sent me. Now over here, guys, if you look carefully, I can see the email which is there. Okay, the contact number is there, location. Fine, these are the things everyone put it on their resume. But one thing which is really missing in this particular resume, particularly in the initial section, is your Git repository or your Git profile link. See, gone are the days where you can just say that I know Selenium, Java, and you have worked in automation project for 7 years or 8 years. And if you don't showcase any personal projects, how will the interviewer will come to know that you have the right skills? They want to see your coding skills. They want to see how exactly you have created your automation framework. So please make sure, guys, that whenever you are creating a resume, please add your Git repository, because adding Git repository is going to give confidence. Okay, it's going to give confidence to the interviewer that you know how to create a framework. Is this part clear to everyone? Okay, they can see your coding skills, they can see how you're writing your test scripts. Now, we're going to go to all these sections one by one. So this is the first thing which I noticed, that none of the resumes were having Git repositories. Okay, so please make sure you create a Git repository. The second thing, over here, let's focus on the skills section. We're going to come to the summary work experience also, but let's focus on the skills section. If you look at the skills section over here, guys, everything over here, all the skills have been randomly dumped over here. Okay, so there is just a random dump of skills which are there. So what I suggest is, if you are going to put your skills in your resume, please make sure that you create a proper category. Okay, you tell which programming languages you know. Now if I have to look at the skills, I have to search which is the programming language this candidate has. So I can see JavaScript over here and then Java comes over here. Why is Jira the first skill coming into picture? Are you getting the point? So what you do over here, guys, whenever you want to showcase your skill, you should always showcase your skill in a way that you are categorizing everything. So look over here. I have created a section which is called as programming skills. In programming skills, I have written over here that I know Java and JavaScript. Okay, this is for the same candidate. So if you're watching this particular video, you know how to put now. So put over here Java and JavaScript. Then I created a section called UI automation. In UI automation, I'm just putting the skills related to UI automation, Cypress and WebDriver coming into picture. Next, for API automation, I have written over here Postman and Rest Assured. This is the third category coming over here. Then your testing framework. So over here, testing framework is not your test automation framework. Testing framework is your assertion libraries which you're using. So over here, I'm using TestNG, Cucumber, Mocha. Then the CI/CD tools. Over here, it is going to be Jenkins, GitHub, Actions, your GitLab Runner, Azure DevOps. Version control, you can say Git, GitHub. Build tools, Maven, and some of you guys use Gradle, so you can put Gradle over here. And performance testing, because the candidate has said that he knows performance testing, I have written over here JMeter and K6. The reason I am breaking it into these different categories so that the ATS software or anyone who is looking into the resume, they understand the skill sets properly. What I am aware of UI automation, what I am aware of API automations, etc. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. So please make sure, guys, do not do random dumping of the skill sets. Okay, make sure you create proper category out of it. The next one that comes into picture is the education and certification. See, guys, you have done your engineering. That's great. Okay, you can put your graduation certificates and your graduation degree over here, which makes completely sense. Certified space practitioner, this is also correct. But the problem that comes into picture is these course completion certificates. Please do not put it off over there. These just showcase that you have studied. Course completion certificate does not give the information that you know the skill. As the name suggests, course completion. You have completed watching a course. That's all. That's the reason, instead of putting course completion certificate, create projects. Whatever the things they have taught in the course, create a repository, create a project, and then you put it off in your resume that this is the project that I have created. That's what you call as personal project or personal portfolios. And none of the resumes that I have seen so far have created their personal projects. Okay, and even if they create a personal project, it's just for the sake of creating. It's partially created. There's no proper coding style that they have followed. Are you getting the point? So don't even create the project just for the sake of creating. Create it properly. Okay, how you do small things in life is going to decide how you are going to do big things. Okay, so please make sure, guys, these small things, whether you're creating your personal projects also, right, make sure you create it as if you are working on a life project. Are you getting the point? Great. Then, guys, languages, I don't think so this particular section is going to be really important. Okay, so if you are only going to apply in, let's say, India, we know that most of us will be able to speak English. So native language is not something that you're supposed to put over there. If you would have been aware of, let's say, some foreign languages, let's say German or some other languages, you could have put those things over there. Now, interest, this is going to be debatable. If you want, you can put it off. I generally don't put it, so you can remove this stuff. You see, you are actually going to save this much section. or I would say you will be able to save this much section. So these two things, guys, please remove it off. It's not really required. Now, guys, let's focus on the first section of this particular resume, which is the summary section. Now, if you read the summary of this particular profile, it says that a confident individual with 7 years of experience as a QA engineer in Agile and Scrum environment, aiming to utilize my strong prioritization skills and analytical ability to achieve the goals of your company. The thing is, this summary actually looks very generic. Yes or no? Reading this particular summary, we are not able to understand whether this engineer is an automation engineer or not. So please make sure, guys, whenever you are creating any profile summary has to explain in less lines, probably in 2 or 3 lines. You just have to explain what exactly you have done so far. Are you getting the point? So a simple profile summary for this candidate could have been, I'll read it from you. It's going to say QA engineer with 7 years of experience in automation testing using Selenium, Cypress and API testing with Postman and Rest Assured. Along with that, you can just say skilled in designing automation framework, CI/CD integration, especially with Jenkins and Azure DevOps, because he have mentioned that he has worked on Azure DevOps, and improving test efficiencies. Is this part clear to everyone? This is how you're supposed to write your profile summary. It should just give a glimpse of what you are aware of, what you have done, what are your so-called special characteristics or key skill set. For this candidate, he has a special skill set of creating a complete automation framework, and he also has knowledge on working with Cypress and also with your Selenium web driver. So we are going to leverage all those stuff. Now, the next thing which I thought was kind of vague over here was the day-to-day task and achievements which he has kept in his profile. Okay, let's focus on the first company itself, or the latest company over here. It's written over here, developing and executing automation test scripts using POM, your page object model, design implementation to increase test efficiency. What do you think about this particular line? Is it giving you any confidence on this candidate? Yes. The thing is, whenever you're going to put your roles and responsibility, just make sure that you are actually giving some kind of a metric. Here it is written, developing and executing automation test scripts. How many test scripts that you have created? Okay, from 2023 till present, how many test scripts you have created? Okay, you have used page object model design pattern to increase test efficiency. By how much? Okay, so you should tell that if I have created a test automation framework, if I have introduced automation test scripts, what has been the reduction in the manual testing efforts, how much we have been able to save time in regression testing, all these things you are supposed to put it over here. That's how you have to give your roles and responsibility. Now look carefully over this point. The first company, that when he was working for CGI, it is written, worked on agile methodology. Is this a role and responsibility? So this is wrong. This is not good. Secondly, here, senior quality assurance engineer, okay, overseeing the design and quality delivery of solutions. It does not, like say what exactly this candidate has done in that company. Okay, if you have done manual testing, it's not bad, it's not a crime. But even if I say that I have done manual testing, tell me how many test cases you have written. Okay, how many bugs you were able to catch during your entire time in that particular company. All those things are important. Okay, you need to define the metric, okay, how your skills, how your knowledge has saved the time, the resources of a particular company. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. So this is my feedback for this particular resume, guys. So it definitely needs to improve all these things, the roles, responsibilities, make sure the skills and the summary has been fixed. Please don't forget to add your Git repository. All right, let's move on to the next resume now. So the next resume that we have is for Rutuja. Okay, I have hidden the personal details. Okay, so if you find this particular resume similar to that of yours, you know whose resume it is. Okay, now here let's start looking from the summary itself. Okay, now as usual, the first thing that we are noticing, what is the first thing that we are missing over here? Come on guys, you know that. What is the first thing which is missing over here? Okay, name is there, mobile number is there, okay, email address is of course there. What is missing? Yeah, Git repository. So yes, please make sure guys you add your Git repository. Personal projects are important. You can't goof up on that. Now I am trying to read the summary. The summary states that Rutuja has 3 years of experience in manual and automation testing using Selenium and Java, which is good. Okay, now you see the summary over here is pretty much straight to the point. 3 years of experience in manual and automation testing using Selenium and Java, which includes functional, non-functional, globalization, UI testing, API testing using Postman and Rest Assured. Summary is fine, great. Along with that, what Rutuja could have done, she could have also added that she has experience in creating the complete automation framework. Okay, I just write it down. Along with that, experience with CI/CD technologies and tools. Okay, this would have saved a little bit of, like time for the interviewer to understand what exactly the profile is all about. Now, the next thing is profile synopsis. It's not required. Okay. Please don't put it off. The same thing, whatever is written over here is put over here again. So it's technically just a redundant stuff. Don't put it off. Okay. Then again, if you look carefully, again a summary is coming into picture. Manual testing, functional testing. Detailed oriented professional with experience in software testing with expertise in loyalty and travel domain, Salesforce CRM, insurance and capital market investing domain, not required. Okay, do you really think people are going to spend time reading all these things? Don't put any of these things. It's not really required. Okay, going on to the next one, guys. The next thing, a lot of time what people make a mistake over here, guys, is they put education first over here. If you were a fresher, education could have been the first thing. But since you're already an experienced candidate, your projects should speak for you, not your education. Are you getting the point? So please put your education section at the last. Okay. Now looking at the technical knowledge, operating system, please guys, not really required. Languages known, SQL, Selenium and core Java Groovy. Selenium does not fall into languages. And instead of saying languages known, you need to know that you have to put it like programming languages. Okay. So please make sure you put programming languages, create another section for database and put over there SQL. Are you getting the point? So over here only Java needs to be written, and along with that you give the version of Java that you have worked on. Is this part clear? Software testing skill, again, this is fine. This is for your manual testing. I think you have kept it off. But what you do, you create sections for your UI automation, API automation, database automation, mobile automation, CI/CD. Remember? If not, I'll just show you again one more time. This is the same section that you're supposed to create. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. Now, the next thing that comes into picture is professional work experience. This is fine. Project summary, not really required. Okay, no one wants to know what is the description of this particular project. It's too much of information. Okay, so make sure guys you try to fit your resume in one page. Now, the final thing over here guys, if you look carefully, a lot of information in Rutuja's resume is actually redundant. Her entire resume could have been fit in one single page. Okay, when you put all these things, right, it is definitely going to be rejected by ATS. No one is going to spend all these time reading all whatever you have put over here. Okay, finally, one important thing guys, please don't put your permanent address, your correspondent address, okay, languages known. If you want to put, just say English, but apart from that, native languages are not really required. No one is interested to know your birth date right now. Okay, this is not a marriage biodata, it's a resume which we are creating, right? So personal details, try to limit it off. It's not really required. Is this part clear to everyone? So this was the second resume guys. I hope you have understood what to keep and what not to keep over here. Let's go to the next one, which is Nancy's resume. All right. Now, if you look at Nancy's resume, the first thing which, like I really like was the initial section. Okay. So she has her GitHub repo link. Great. Then she has given her email address, LinkedIn link. She technically writes some articles. So even the Medium link is available. What was not really required over here was the snapshot. It's too much, right? It's really not required. Again, she made the same mistake with the technical skills. Make sure you always create a category. Okay. So over here again, there's a random dumping which is coming into picture, and I get it. This is because of the template which you have downloaded from the internet and all. But please make sure that you still try to customize it a little bit better. Okay. The profile summary, my dear friends, is pretty big. Like it's a lot. Okay. So the problem with her resume right now is that there is a lot of bold text that she has kept. Okay. Which makes it really difficult to understand what is important and what is not important. Everything, to be honest, like looks like bold only. So the formatting of the resume is not good. Okay. So this is something that needs to be fixed in her resume, and I think she also has put the education over here. And look carefully guys, in the education section, if you have done your BTech, I'm pretty sure that you have studied your 12th standard. You also would have done your 10th standard. So please don't put your 10th standard marks, 10th standard percentage, okay, 12th standard marks, 12th standard percentage. It's not really required. So please remove it off. Please remove the personal details. It's not really required. The good thing about her projects section is that she has given roles, responsibilities, technology used. One more thing that she could have actually added over here was achievements, okay? Just so that people can understand, the recruiters can understand that in a particular company, what was her achievement in the project. Getting the point? Great. So this was the changes that Nancy needs to do in her resume. Let's move on to the next resume now, guys, which is this resume. Now, please make sure, guys, whenever you are creating resume, you try to create a resume max to max of 2 pages. Look over here. 1, 2, okay, 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. Do you really think anyone is going to spend this much time reading all these resumes? No, please. So please make sure, guys, you only put the necessary stuff. Half of the thing in most of the resumes are redundant. All right. So make sure that you always fit your entire work experience in a max of 2 pages. This candidate has, I think so, 8 years of experience. So probably he has worked in different projects, different companies. That's the reason he has put all the stuff. But the thing is, please, most of us can really put the entire work experience in 2 pages. So if you are thinking that you can put 3 pages in your resumes, no, you can't. Is this part clear to everyone? So this is something which I saw all the red flags, okay, in most of the resumes. Even in this particular resume, the Git repository is not there. So please make sure that personal projects are important. All right. Now that we have seen all the various red flags, the common mistakes that people make while creating their resume, I want you guys to go through this particular resume, guys. Now, this is the exact resume that I give to my students. You can use this particular resume. The link will be in the description section of this particular video. Now, if you look carefully, I have just created this resume in 2 pages. Not even 2 pages, I'll say it's just going to be 1 page. Okay, over here the candidate has changed 2 companies. So over here I have just put my old company names, B2X and year map. Okay, so over here there are only 2 companies, and even if you have changed multiple companies, I think you can easily wrap it up in 2 pages. So max your resume should be of 2 pages. Is this part clear? Now, if you look at the starting section over here, I just have my name, location, contact number, email address, my LinkedIn link. Along with that, I have the link to my GitHub portfolio where I have put my different projects so that the interviewer can see how exactly I have created my test automation framework. They can see how do I write test scripts, how I have created the entire project, how do I manage it off, etc., etc. The next thing is the summary section. Again, the summary section is very small. I think it's a max of 3 lines. So, or 4 lines coming into picture. So that's the ultimate thing. And during the summary section, guys, I've just made sure that all the relevant keywords, Java, Selenium, WebDriver, TestNG, JUnit, rest assured, these keywords are there in the summary section. Next, I have the skill sections, and as I've said during the skill sections, always break it down into different categories. So I have the programming language, test automation, API automation, your test frameworks, CI/CD tools, version controls, build tools, etc., etc. Then, if I have done any certification, now note that I have not put over your Udemy's course completion certificates. Either you do some kind of a cloud certifications or DevOps certification, or you try to do your ISTQB foundational certification. Now, some of you guys will ask, Jatin, should I do ISTQB certification in 2025? Don't do it. It's not worth it. Instead of that, just focus on your cloud certification. That will be more beneficial for you guys in long run. ISTQB certifications just basically consist of MCQs, and those are basically available all over the internet and all. So I personally don't feel that it is actually improving your knowledge in testing. Okay, so instead of that, you do cloud certifications. Okay, the next is project information. So over here, guys, if you look carefully, all the project information, I'm trying to complete it in 4 points only. Don't put 10, 15 points. 4 points is more than enough. If you are not able to explain your roles and responsibilities and achievements in 4 or 5 points, there's something wrong. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. Here also, if you look carefully, for the software test engineer position in B2X, I have written here, developed and maintain robust automation framework for web, mobile, and API testing using Selenium, APM, and rest assured. So I'm also telling where exactly these skills have been used in my project. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. So that's it, guys. That's the entire stuff for this particular video. I hope this particular video was useful to you guys. Please create your resume. If you want, you can drop your resume to me over LinkedIn. The details of my LinkedIn account will be there in the description section. You can connect me over there. So thank you so much, guys. Please take care, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.